and here we are. We are live. Band of Weary Travelers presents. Take it away, Senna.
Welcome to Seascapades, a new Dungeons & Dragons 5e adventure set in the world of Theron, centered in the Plyjaz Expanse. I'm your dungeon master, complete with a new car smell, Senna, and I'm joined by... Let's just go down the Discord list.
You got it.
Discord list.
I'm Mike, and I'm playing tonight, and I am playing Delmar Zaladir, Triton of the Deep.
Alright, I guess I'm next. My name is Miles, and I am playing the ingenious, gentle kobold Don Yipin Hasterix de la Schenkheim.
And I am Kitties, and today I will be playing ML Drothskar. She's a Gisserai.
And I am Zaffin, and today I will be playing Zavern Windsong, the Half-Elf Bard.
It's beautiful. Alright. Mike, if you want to play track number 1.
You got it.
And I'll take you guys over to the city page. Well, I guess I should show you guys the coastal map. Did that work? Is that how you do it?
Yep, it works.
Alright, so this is the Sundrafi coast, an archipelago of islands, where our story begins. And it begins in the coastal city of Schenkheim, which is right about here, on the largest island called Arum. Alright, so let's go over to Schenkheim. Alright, so we begin in Schenkheim, a large, sprawling metropolis, with stone and wooden buildings stacked on top of each other in a tangled mass of streets and damp alleyways. Above your head, while walking through the town, are balconies, some with houseplants, and others with bawdy women cajoling the passing townsfolk, and clotheslines strung crisscross between houses. Today is a particularly fair day, with big puffy clouds speeding across the azure sky. The shadows passing over children running through the streets playing with their toys. Seabirds fly overhead, calling to each other, and on the lookout for any food they can scavenge from the city below. Exactly. Market stall owners shout noisily, trying to make themselves heard over the others and attract business to their shops. A bakery nearby fills the air with the smell of warm baking bread, occasionally being swept away by the sea breeze coming in. In the center of town lies a steep cliff nearly 300 feet tall, separating the western shoreline portion of the city from the verdant field above. Rows and rows of switchbacking stairs make a striking zigzag pattern against the dark gray stone. Perched atop the cliff, with a lift stretching downward, is a pretty standard-looking fortress, round towers at each corner, and a wall separating the weathered gray stone castle from the rest of the city. Golden standards fly from the ramparts, a black fish leaping from water emblazoned across the flags. In the lower half of the city, among the sprawling houses, we see a tavern bristling with activity, the low rumble of chatter and laughter bursting from the establishment each time the door opens. Inside, we find 5 people sitting around a round table, a map held open by a rock on one side, and a dagger planted into the other. A broad, tall woman with short, dark brown hair sits at the chair closest to the cold hearth. She wears a rather well-tailored orange-brown jacket with a black bodice tucked into black riding pants. She has an ale tankard in one hand, and her other balled into a fist on the table, grinning as she looks around at the people sitting around the table with her. So if you guys just want to go around and briefly give a description of your characters, that would be wonderful.
You got it. So I guess to her immediate right, there is a very he's sort of leaning over the table, and this character is a Triton, which is a fishman. Not really not the comical kind of fishman. He is clearly aquatic in nature, though he is humanoid, bipedal, 2 arms, 2 legs. His fingers are webbed. His skin is a sort of turquoise bluish tint, and his hair and beard are green like seaweed. He's wearing you might call it plate armor, but instead of being constructed with metals and steels and straps, it is made entirely of shell, of slightly different sizes of interlocking plates that all have an iridescent sheen. Laying on the bench or chair? Bench or chair, whatever seat he's on. Laying on the seat that he is on, leaning on it, is a glaive taller than he is, that has a stylized shape of a trident, the 3 tines. In the center tine, there is a blue salt crystal that has a little bit of a lightning effect going on inside of it.
All right. Next to him, you can see a wooden stool kind of just moving closer to this table with no person in it, as very quickly a small, about 3-foot figure starts to scramble onto it and stand atop it to barely clear the top of the table. As you see a red-scaled kobold creature in this ratty makeshift plate armor that looks unfitting to him. It looks like it would be built for a dwarf, so it's too wide. You can see that the collar goes up above his snout, and you can barely see his eyes and his horns and the little top of his head as he flails around and begins to find purchase on top of the he just leans almost entirely standing above the table in order to take a look at the map and barely making out what's going on.
Sitting next to this kobold, looking down on him, is this almost comically tall Gisrai woman. She has a long black braid and yellowish gray. She is wearing monk garb, and she has a quarterstaff draped across her back. Her face looks severe, but when she talks, she's very...
You cut out, kitties.
Oh, did I? Sorry. Where did I cut out at?
Just the last little bit.
She has a severe-looking face. That's definitely a bad case of RBF. But when she talks, she's very jovial. She stands about 6'5" and is thin and wearing monk's garb. And that's it.
All right. Sitting next to her, you see a tall, slender man clad in the most luxurious of green and brown-hued leather. He has an adorning his side is a beautifully crafted rapier with a gold inlay on the handle. His long, flowing black hair tied tightly into a ponytail. His eyes piercing emeralds. They almost sparkle as you look into them. And he sits there strumming on a lute.
All right. Well, the woman that is sitting with you guys, you know her as Marianne the Gold. She is the one who contracted you guys to all go on a treasure hunting mission. She's the admiral of her own small treasure hunting fleet, and recently, you know from your brief encounters with her so far, some of her ships have disappeared near a small island, the northernmost island of the Sundrafi coast, called Beral. Your task is not to go and find the ships and to recover whatever was on the ships. But Marianne turns to you guys and says, Well, we've heard rumors of treasure in this tower. It's in the middle of nowhere, but my captain Francis should be able to help you find it. Find what you can and bring it back here to my ship. Then we'll talk about you finding our missing crew. And as agreed, you'll be compensated based on what you bring back, plus 10 gold per day per person. And she smiles at you guys and downs her tankard.
She is directing us to the northernmost island? Or-
No. She is back on the coastal map here. She is directing you guys to go to this tower here.
Got it, okay.
In the middle of the sea. Because she wants you guys to prove your worth before sending you to an area up here, which has been known to be really rough seas.
I'm gonna hop my way onto the table and walk over to the part of the map that I can't see. And I'm going to turn to her and be like, "This will be no problem for us. I feel that these simpletons and myself will be able to handle any tower of any treasure of any kind. Correct, simpletons?"
She smiles at you and says, "Well, I hope you guys are as good as you say you are. 10
We
gold
are-
is a lot."
Better than others could say. About as good as I say.
You're an interesting little man.
You know, I've never been to the tower inside it proper, but I have been around it a few times. I never thought to go in there.
What was the tower originally?
No one knows. It's been there for a while. Long time, longer than anyone we know has known about
Mystery,
it.
honor, gold, everything an adventurer could want.
I thought it was I thought it was someone's estate, and they just like to keep to themselves. Interesting.
Well, if it is, you know what to do.
Delmar starts to get up. How many of you can swim?
I believe the Francis was taking us.
But when
Yes,
we get there,
she is.
I am not the greatest of swimmers. This is not my strongest of suits.
it's
I
not.
can hold my own.
How about you, my green friend?
I just love to get in the water and splash around.
This is good enough for me. He stands up. He picks up his glaive.
Marianne stands up with you guys and offers her hand.
I
Just shake.
Yeah, she
shakes-
grabs your forearm.
He shakes her forearm, and she feels that he is slightly damp.
I give a deepened bow and a hand kiss from the table, so I'm probably at appropriate height.
Emma leans across the table and shakes your hand.
And she laughs bodily at Mr. Yip, the kobold. And she rolls up her map and sheathes her dagger at her side and heads on out of the tavern.
I make to follow? Make to follow. I must have...
Okay.
Did I miss... She herself is taking us, right?
Yes,
Okay.
she's escorting you down to the port so you know which ship.
Got it. He makes to follow.
I grab my... Go ahead.
Emma picks up Yep, and puts him on the ground. There you go, my little friend.
This is not necessary, but I will take it. It is enjoyable to be lifted. And I reach over and grab my shield, which has the insignia of a rook of some god, and I pick up a lance that's roughly 7 times my size, and begin walking out, having to precariously move it and negotiate it around patrons and not hitting them in the head, knocking over a few drinks here and there.
Emma is behind him, just snickering away.
Well, yep, you lucked out because the Siren Song Tavern, which is the tavern you guys were just in, is only a short walk down to the docks over here. And when you get to the dock, immediately, a ship catches your eye. It's made of supple, dark brown wood, and it's got it's a proper galley, and it's got just sails everywhere, and the sails are cream and gold striped, and you can see a flurry of activity on the ship, and a single woman barking out orders at the crew members. And Marianne crosses the gangplank and gives the woman barking out orders the same forearm strong handshake that she gave to you all. So the... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to... Go ahead.
Okay. So the older woman turns around, and you can see her. She's very much older, well into her 50s, and she's a human. Her face is very tanned and creased with laugh lines, and her salt and pepper hair is pulled back into a long, thick braid. And she turns to you guys and she says, "Well, I take it you guys are Marianne's recruits. I'm Francis Drack."
We are.
A strange name.
Hi, Francis. It's nice to meet you.
Yes, likewise.
Nice to meet
Very
you
good to
too.
meet you. Where should I place my horse?
Well, you can place your horse down in the hold if you'd like. We do have a ramp going down there.
All right, I begin to telepathically tell Tater Trot to start walking up the gangplank.
Tater Trot.
Where you see a spindly, barely looked nourished, white, completely like tiny, like thin-legged animal, sickeningly walk up very slowly and meekly up the gangplank. Yes, down to the holds, they say. Go there. Yes, good, Tater Trot. Do not eat all of their provisions. We will need them.
Well, you don't have to worry about that because we've got more than enough provisions for you guys. It's only a 2-day ship ride.
He is a very fat horse. He tries to eat upwards of 3 times a day.
Well,
Not acceptable.
Mr. Yip,
Yes.
your horse seems quite malnourished.
It is a magic horse. It is fine. A sorcerer sold him to me. Says he's the most powerful and strong horse in all of the land.
Delmar just blinks and says, "Well, I don't know much about land animals, so all right."
He's a fine horse, Yip.
Indeed. Fine and noble steed. Tater Trot.
Did I just hear him cough?
Perhaps his farts also sound like coughs.
Excellent.
okay, so Francis...
One question: How high up is the pier from the water?
Well, it's a pretty big ship, so it's probably a good, like, I'd say 7 or 8 feet.
Not the deck, but okay, got it. All right.
Okay, Francis turns to you guys and says, "Well, you guys are more than welcome to stay on board. We will be leaving tomorrow morning so that we miss the storm coming in."
A storm, you say?
Aye, a storm. And she points off into the distance where you can see, like, dark clouds gathering.
Delmar says, "I'm sorry, could you repeat that? What time are we meeting?"
Well, tomorrow morning, as soon as you can.
He nods.
Delmar,
We.
is that a trident in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
He looks down at his belt, and in fact, he does have a trident at his belt.
It looks like a trident, yes.
He says, "Why, yes."
He probably is happy to see you as well. You have done nothing to offend him, correct?
Correct. And he
So
kind of
both.
tilts his head a little bit.
Oh.
There are strange noises being made. I will join in. Aha!
I feel pressured.
I will-
Ho
Love it.
Frances just shakes her head and waves at you guys as she goes back to ordering people
Frances.
around.
Before you go,
Yes.
are there quarters for us tonight?
Oh yes, you're more than welcome to stay on the ship. We do have rooms for you guys. It's a huge galley. It's like built for speed and comfort. You can see that Marianne spent a lot of money on this ship.
Please direct me to whatever room you have occupied for this mighty hero and my friends.
All right, well,
Well, it's
follow
so
me.
nice of you to recognize me. Yep.
You are very tall. I don't know how I would not recognize you.
Right.
Delmar looks at Emil, and now that the attention's kind of directed on her a little bit more, actually, we're supposed to be like kind of randos, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I assume you guys would have like at least met one or two times before, but not like in depth. It's more like meeting Marianne, like an orientation meeting at a new job.
Gotcha. Actually, I'm gonna save what I wanted to do for later.
Okay.
Ooh.
So Francis shows you to the quarters. They're not like absolutely luxurious, but they do have a nice bed. Each of them has a little writing desk and some candles and stuff for you to, and a little chest for you guys to store your gear if you should so choose.
This is the most beautiful place I've stayed in a while. Thank you so much, Captain Francis.
She nods at you and goes back up to the deck. Is there
So,
anything you guys want to do
What time
here
of
in
day is it?
town? It is in the afternoon.
okay.
Probably like 2 or 3 p.m. right now.
I go looking for my mates, and I say to them, you know, I hear this place has some wonderful refreshments. Maybe we should go find some.
You to us, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Delmar says, he addresses her and he says, "Oh, oui, I am feeling a bit peckish." I
You are
haven't.
not bird. How do you feel, peck?
And it's an expression I picked up a few on the adjacent island. It means I'm feeling a little hungry.
Oh, that works. Fine. Yes. I just thought you fish, not exactly bird, man. I will
could
drink
say
with my
I-
subordinates.
I could say I'm fishish, but that didn't roll off the tongue as well as peckish.
It seems to roll just as well, but I will trust your decisions. This is what a leader will do.
But by the by, Mr. Yip,
Yes.
he looks at the lance and he says, "That weapon looks a little bit big for you, no?"
Overcompensation.
I begin to point the lance at both of them. You will never question my ability to wield this weapon, or you will be at the end of it very shortly.
Calm down, my tiny friend. We don't know you.
You know what they say. Big things come in small packages.
Quite right.
Makes sense. How would a big thing be in a small package? You would need a big package for a big thing.
So, Yip, what I think he is trying to say is that you're more capable than you appear. And he bows a little bit. I do apologize.
As I receive any sign of respect, I put the lance back up and I say, "This is most gracious. All right, 2 drinks."
The drinks.
All right. Well, okay. So around this whole like square, there are a few taverns. The one that you were in is called the Siren Song Tavern and Lodge. It's like the hot jam for food and drink. But there are other establishments that you could go to if you so desire.
At this,
Emma looks for the seediest place to go.
the seediest. Yeah.
Ooh.
I follow suit in that.
All right. Well, there's more on the southern half of the city. There's like a steady decline in the quality of like housing and stuff, and there are still some taverns. And you find one that's got, you know, the little hanging sign outside of it that just has a sickle on it, and it's like hanging off of one of the chains.
This
This is definitely the place.
why it has a farming implement.
I've found in my travels that the
At least that
less
is
care taken on the outside, the better the food.
Oh, I see.
Yip kind of takes out a notebook and begins writing some notes about that. Worse looks outside, better food.
Did our half elf? Oh, sorry. Did our green friend follow us?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you.
He turns to crap! I forgot your character's name, Justin.
Averin.
Zavrin. He Dunmore turns to Zavrin and he says, "Is this establishment? Are you comfortable entering here? You seem very well kept." He gestures to you.
Thank you for asking. Oh, it's so dirty down here. But
No worries, sir. I'll
any
take care
place
of you.
that I enter, my dear friends, instantly becomes amazing.
Is this magic?
It is the power of song, and joke, and jest.
And
I'm
presents.
not familiar with these spells.
They are not spells, my little friend. They are qualities.
Should we also expect frivolity?
Yeah.
Likely.
Well, if revels are to be made, let's make them. And Yip
opposed to enter.
begins walking through the door.
All right, so you guys go inside, and it is dank in here.
Oh boy.
It's very damp. There's like mismatched stools. Some of the tables have like chunks taken out of them. There is an axe embedded in one of the tables in the corner, and a bunch of seedy, piratey-looking individuals sitting at the bar, and they turn to you whenever you enter the establishment.
Hey, Senna, how rowdy would you say this tavern is right now? How loud?
It's, you know, decent. It's not quite as loud as the siren song was, but it's not dead quiet.
Does it do the cowboy thing where we like knock open the doors and everyone looks at the same time aggressively at us?
Yep.
Oh.
Ah, look. A welcoming committee.
They are organized to welcome us.
Absolutely. They recognize your hero. Yep.
I already enjoy this establishment. We should become, what is it called, regulars.
I look out for a table.
Okay, there's a couple of tables free.
I go and
They
sit
have-
down.
All right. A man wearing an apron comes up to you guys at the table. He's missing a few teeth, and he's bald on the top of his head with like the like horseshoe hair. I have no
Cul-de-sac.
idea. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one.
I have that.
And it's like it's sticking out from the side of his head.
Well,
Oh, got it.
And he goes, "What do you want?"
Oh, thank you, my fine friend. We'll have whatever beverages you have available.
Ale.
Round of ale.
I
Ale
will
would
have
be
wine.
perfect.
No wine.
If I can make you laugh, can I have wine?
There's no
You
wine.
may not stock it.
Oh.
It's ale or water.
I take out a gold piece and I put it on the corner of the table. Round of wine, please. I mean, ale.
He
Can you put my friend Saffron's in a wine glass, please?
How heavy is the ale? I don't want to get bloated.
he grabs the coin, bites it, and then walks to the back and brings you 4 regular tankards of ale, and Zavrin's is a little rougher than the others. And it looks like it's leaking a little bit.
as he's walking away, I ask my friends, "Do the teeth happen because he bite the coin?
Yes.
Why does he continue to do so?"
He needs to make sure they are real.
People make fake coins for what purpose?
Excuse me, barman, barkeep.
He turns to you.
This drinking apparatus that you gave me is a little worse for wear. Could I get a better one?
He nods and goes to the back room, and then brings you a pot.
A pot. How big's the pot?
It's pretty decently sized. And he sits it hard on the table.
Is it full of ale? Or is it like a little bit of
No,
ale like
it's-
sloshing at the bottom?
There's some like water at the bottom. Or you think it's water.
I do not believe he ordered this. He was looking for another cup.
He wasn't very specific.
I point to the cup I have. He would like one of these, please.
He turns and says, "Sorry, don't have any more."
I look
Emerald
around.
slips her glass that's a little better looking over to Zavrin and says, "It's okay. I'll drink from the pot."
Oh, at least let me clean it for you. Oh. I guess. Precipitation on the pot.
Wonderful. The pot looks a lot cleaner now. And you can tell that it was once like a darker brown. It's now a lighter brown color.
Excuse me, he says to the barman going around.
He gives you a side eye, but
What is being prepared in the kitchen tonight?
fish. We got fish soup.
Do you have
Grilled
anything?
fish.
Do you have anything terrestrial?
We do have some mutton.
But it's wonderful.
I will have some of the mutton. And then he looks to the rest. Or he looks to the party and says, "I've been trying to expand my horizons with food. I've had fish my entire life."
The barman, he slams his fist on the wall, like where the back kitchen area is, and then you see a larger man, just as dirty, a little bit later, come out with some mutton for the table, and it's hot and it looks delicious.
I put down 2 gold in front of the gentleman.
He grabs them, nods at you. You can tell his demeanor is getting a little more friendly towards you because you're throwing gold at him. And he bites both of them at the same time. And then
You
puts
really
them in
should
his
think
apron.
about your teeth. They are weak and flimsy, as you could see.
I'll just get wooden ones.
With wood? Would fake coins be bent by wood?
He shrugs.
I grab some of the money and I begin eating it.
He's laughing in character too. Then he
I see people laughing and don't understand why, so I go ha ha ha, and I begin eating the money.
So he I'm gonna start. He's gonna start drinking. He's gonna start eating.
The ale is nothing to write home about. It's ale, but the mutton is pretty good. Like you can tell, it's been seasoned, and Emil definitely had the right idea.
Is Zaverin trying any of the mutton?
Nope, he is clutching his loot and just kind of looking around at all these dirty people.
Well, Zaverin, you should give the mutton a try. It's not that bad.
Emil slaps Zavern on the back and says, "It's wonderful. You should try."
Parasite, sir.
Good.
Oh, go ahead.
I begin crunching the bones in my mouth, and I kind of stare to him as well. He's like, "Yes, he's really good."
I think I'll pass on the parasites or whatever's in there.
How? Well, now you're making me wonder. How cooked is it? Like the inside?
It's decently cooked. Yeah, it's cooked all the way.
He wouldn't know that, so.
You don't see, those of you familiar with mutton, don't see any reason to be alarmed.
I'm not familiar, but it's probably better than anything I had when I was born.
So
I will watch them eat for a short little while, and then I'll try it. Just like, I'll take a very tiny piece of the mutton and just like put it on the tip of my tongue.
Like SpongeBob with the Krabby Patty?
Yeah.
Or Squidward with the Krabby Patty? Perfect.
Tell you what, Azarfin. When we head out tomorrow, before we take bed or before we leave, whenever we have an opportunity, we can go get a bottle of wine to imbibe on the way to the tower.
Are you asking me to have a drink with you?
That is quite literally what it is saying.
We're going to be, we're going to be on the same team. Get to know each other better.
Oh, I like the way you think.
He says, I will pay for half, you pay for half. Or maybe we can split it 4 ways. And he looks to the other 2.
Absolutely.
Your leader will allow partial payment. In fact, I will buy for the rest of you.
Did he offer... Did you offer to buy the whole bottle?
I accept the cost of this bottle of wine for you and my other compatriots, yes.
He nods.
How much do that cost? I hand him 20 gold. Is this sufficient?
Probably more than... Actually, depends on the wine. We'll see.
There you go. And I kind of hand it to him.
Well, I just hope that the crew on the ship is a little cleaner and a little more appreciative of music.
Most likely
Speaking of
is.
music, we could probably use some.
As much as I would love to play, I would also love to not be stabbed by one of these rough scullions.
Nonsense. If anyone comes threateningly, well, we can take care of ourselves.
I don't usually have problems with people.
Besides, you might liven up the place.
Maybe people will smile.
Let's find out. Excuse me, unruly gentleman.
Everyone
I'm just
looks at
open
him.
speaking. How do you all feel about music?
They some of them shrug, some of them don't pay any attention to you, but no one seems overly hostile about the prospect of music.
How about a joke to break the tension in the air?
They turn back to their drinks.
What do you call a man with no arms, no legs, and floating in the ocean?
Dead.
Bob.
This is common name. What is funny?
My friend is a expression for when one is floating. When it goes up and down in the water, it bobs.
Oh, ha.
You
Good
see one
joke.
of the
Thank you, sir.
guys that's at the bar, kind of like his shoulders shake, like he's chuckling. But only one.
There you are. He
Okay. What kind of music does everyone like?
There are different kinds.
now that we're talking about it, I remember, and he pulls from a pouch on the side a small little horn. He says, "Will you allow me to perform with you?"
I would love nothing more than to see you blow your horn.
Excellent.
Emil and I kind of whisper to her, I thought you were all warriors. Why does everyone play music?
Because music soothes the savage beast.
It soothes us all.
I begin flipping up the table and looking for the savage beast, kind of pulling my sword out of its sheath just a little bit and looking around.
My friend, it is another expression. I believe I have actually been on land longer than you somehow. And I'm from the deep.
Take my seat back.
He pats Yip's shoulder. Let me we can see if this is in tune. And he's going to play a couple of notes. Do you want me to roll for performance or?
If you're both playing, I want you both to roll for performance.
He's going to before we perform. He's going to just give a couple of tests. He's going to play a couple of notes. And how does anyone react when he plays a couple of notes? He kind of shakes it. A little bit of water comes out.
Not that you can see. They're kind of indifferent, you guys.
All right. He looks at Zaffirin.
Just 1 second. Me. Sorry, I'm just getting my voice ready.
Emma pulls out a pan flute from her robe and says, "Do you mind, gentlemen?"
Oh, join in.
No regular band. We'll have to teach Yip how to play.
Instruments are for the weak. True heroes are played songs for, not because they play songs. Kind of stands proudly with a statement, just arches back a little bit.
Delmar shrugs. And
Emma
waits for his
ruffles
cue.
his hair.
He doesn't have hair.
Seeing where we are, and I look around at everyone, they all look like sailors and pirates, right?
Yep. They are gentlemen of the sea.
I'm sure you all can appreciate this one. I learned this off on the coast of the islands. It was in a seedy pit like this place. I believe it's called a sea shanty.
Uh-huh.
Do you like sea shanties here?
they're still indifferent to you. They're at this point making it on purpose, purposefully ignoring you.
I stand up on the table.
Okay.
I just stand up.
Oh, what shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises.
All right. Everyone who's playing, roll performance.
Perf.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
There you go.
13.
It is a beautiful rendition that you guys are playing. And you can see a couple of people are like they're tapping their foot or they're like tapping on the bar. They're getting into it.
Put him in a longboat until he's sober. Put him on the bung and went all over.
He messes up a note because he's like, I don't remember that lyric. Cool.
Once they finish, I know well enough to clap. So I just kind of stand up and I sit down right away.
There's a couple of people who clap for you guys too. Politely.
Politely. we
Yeah.
made these salty sea dogs polite for an evening.
They recognize
Excellent.
the benefits of politeness. Plus, you guys are wearing weapons, so
It's true, we are. Do you like that? No, I won't do that. Never mind. So, at some point during dinner, after Delmar's had a few, he looks to Emil, and he says, "Oi, Emil, I've wanted to ask you something."
I may have an answer.
He says, "Oi, I wanted to know about, he says, I've never seen, he gestures to her person, being a Githzeri. He says, I've never seen one of your kind before. May I ask, what happened to your nose?"
As she's a little bit drunk and playful, she says it was bitten off by a fine horse.
He says, "Oh, tell me more of this encounter."
I'm kidding.
Oh,
My people don't have noses like humans.
You're an elf, right? Just tall elf. Because pointy ears.
No, I am a Githzerai. And I'm from an area called Lim.
I love doing the limbo.
Well, you are the best Githzerai I have ever met. So, I kind of like hold my tankard up. Here's to you. And I begin drinking and
here's to you.
immediately spit it out. I cannot.
Are you alright? Why'd you spit it all over the table?
It's just too much. There's too much liquid.
What?
I lift my pot full of ale and I drink from it deeply.
There are stories I read of heroes who can drink entire tankards in one sip, and I am just not able. And I tried, and I just can't.
I don't know if you could call every dwarf a hero, but those would be the ones.
Emil keeps drinking.
I pick up my cup and stick out my pinky and slowly sip. You know,
She
it's,
finishes off her pot of ale and wipes her face on her sleeve.
it's a shame that you weren't joking about the nose thing. That could be a good one to use sometime. Reminds me of another one. My father told me when I was younger. What kind of monster brings you chocolate and flowers before it eats you?
What kind?
Please enlighten us.
A romanticore.
I am missing this one. What is I get the first part, but what is an anticore?
No, it's romance and manticore.
Oh, what is a manticore?
Well, it's like
I know a
this.
romance.
It's kind of like a tiger mixed with a winged creature, and it's got a face like a person, and it speaks.
Oh. Truly a beast worth engaging.
Do they not have books in the ocean?
He says, most of my time was spent fighting and wandering.
That's a shame.
And plus, doesn't the paper get soggy when wet?
It's true, paper doesn't keep very well under the water.
That's a shame. I'm more of a lover than a fighter.
Then why are you coming on our quest?
Because someone, my dear fearless leader, has to chronicle your stories and write a song, a ballad of your heroism.
You see Yip's tail just start like waggling real fast. It's like, yes, you are most welcome on our journey.
And take the treasure for himself.
I have no need for treasure.
Unless it is something useful. Gold and objects that are of the art persuasion, I have no need for.
I seek to make honor. I will fight for Dusalarta's name, and I will prove myself worthy of her love.
For whom?
Dusalarta, my one true love. Have I not mentioned Dusalarta?
No, this is the first time.
Please tell us.
Oh, she is a beautiful woman. Creature of long teeth, fattened belly, green scales so thick and just her beauty cannot be described in words. I fight for her honor. I come one day to meet her, and I will show her with my lance and my stories that I am worthy of her love.
Scales, long teeth, and green?
She
Green,
said
fattened,
us.
large, great. She's a sight to behold. Would bear many eggs.
Delmar is just grinning ear to ear listening to this.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm interested. I'm in.
I kind of straighten up a little bit. She's my true love, Bard. You will stay away.
No. He
But someone has to be there to write your love song,
yes!
my dear leader.
And Delmar's getting a little in his cups now, and he slams his fist on the table and he says, "We will assist you. We will elevate you to the worthiness you seek."
Damar gives a very cheesy hero's grin.
It'll be a grand adventure.
No, put your hands on your side and look up and off into the distance.
North. I begin to stand on the table and try to find which way is north, and then I kind of put my hands on my hips and look into the distance. Am I doing it correct?
You are
Put
such
your
a
head off to
brave
the side.
warrior.
I try. And I bend my head and I kind of grab my long sword, which is half broken, and I kind of hold it up like this. Is this right?
It's good. It's very good.
Am I northward enough, or is it this?
We are inside. What does it matter?
He said north. I don't want to make it incorrect.
Oh. Then he takes another sip.
I see. I have aligned myself with the correct party. The three of you all being musicians who write the most beautiful of songs. And I kind of sit back on my chair.
Then
It would be a good journey.
such thing.
You guys are getting quite a few weird looks now, and a couple of people have left.
Pa. How late is it getting now, would you say?
It's probably 8 or 9 in the evening. Getting close to bedtime.
Gentlemen, I must turn in.
Turn into what?
Captain Yip.
Captain Yip.
Don Yip.
Don.
Don Yipin Hastevex de la Schenkheim, I will allow you to refer to me as your fabulous leader. I think that is around the terms you use.
Well, Captain
Sounds
is also
great. Yep.
Oh, no. Right.
I was just curious. Could you regale me with more stories of your love?
I begin going into the descriptions, but mainly she's just a really, really fat kobold.
Wait, wait,
Extra thin arms and legs, but fattened belly and like tail is really thick.
Extra thick.
Extra thick. Extra big birth and thighs.
She dummy
Wait,
thick.
what is what color is Don Yip?
He's red.
He's red. Okay. All right.
I talk about how like the light glimmering off of the cave, slight fungus kind of bolsters the green envy that I have towards her, and other sorts of bad imagery that really describe this overly fat kobold.
Delmar stands up
In the most beautiful way possible.
Oh yes.
and he says, "Companions, I will meet you on the ship tomorrow. I also must take my leave." He walks up to the bar. He puts down 2 gold coins.
I point to him as he leaves. Do not forget the wine.
The wine!
My gift must be bought.
Actually, why don't we can take care of that now if you're not still drinking the ale.
I have given you sufficient funds. You will acquire the wine for us.
He nods and he says, I'm putting too much thought into this, but our shop's open in the morning before we go. Would Delmar know that?
Francis wants you guys to leave like super early in the morning.
Okay.
You know that there are obviously still taverns and stuff that are open at this hour that would sell you a bottle of wine.
In that case, Zavarin, why don't you hand me some coin and I will go and I will get the bottle of wine. I will procure the bottle of wine.
Hey, you know what? How about this? How about I come with you?
No, I thought you
should
were
not be out
listening
walking
to...
around by yourself. No, I have all the words I need for now. I do not want to tire our dear fearless leader out.
All right then. I am going. Did ML already leave?
No, she's waiting for you.
Okay. Then the 3 of us are leaving. Kind of look at Yip.
Come, my small friend, let's go.
You need assistance to buy a bottle of wine?
No, but we are
We
offering
need your
our
protection.
Protection, I see. And I hit down and I grab my lance, which is probably stuck halfway in the wall.
when he's retrieving his lance, Delmar gives ML a knowing look.
She winks.
All right. Lead. I shall follow and ensure your safety.
Zavarin,
Done.
what is the best? Where can we get a classy bottle of wine?
I would imagine when we had the meeting, seems to be the best bar around here.
Then he makes for the singing siren.
Emma looks down at Yip and she says, Don Yip, I'm glad you're here to protect us.
I'm glad you see my importance, and I think we will make a terrific team.
She kind of steps over him and walks out.
Alright. So you guys head over to the Siren Song, and it is busy. People are drinking, they're having a real good time. It's a lot more lively than the tavern bar that you guys just left. And when you walk in, there's a party of really rowdy, drunken humans that lift their tankards and cheer for you guys when you come in, just for funsies.
I lean down and I pick up Don Yip, and I shout out in celebration, "Ha we have arrived!"
They cheer for you louder.
Match for their enthusiasm.
Look, they know of your stories.
Have you been telling my stories already? You are wonderful compatriots.
One travels fast.
I begin holding my sword northward as much as I can and turn my body.
I accommodate, still holding him in the air.
Oh my god.
And then after a few seconds of this, he sets him down.
Put the sword away.
Makes his way through the patrons, keeping his glaive tucked in as much as he can on his back. And a little detail that I forgot to mention. On the back of his armor, he's got a couple of sea urchins. And he stows his glaive by putting the haft of it in the sea urchins and just kind of around it and holds it in place.
That's amazing.
It's like the weird thing that happens in Halo when a character puts like a gun on their back and just kind of sticks there. That's what's going on here.
Gotcha.
He bellies up to the bar, kind of looks behind him, making sure that everyone is, because he feels like Zavarin knows what he's talking about, so he makes sure that Zavarin's there to purchase the wine.
All right, and you see behind the bar, there's a burly looking man who looks like is better at blacksmithing than running a tavern. He yells at you guys, "What can I get you?"
Is he a dwarf?
No.
All right.
He's a human.
Hello, sir. We are here to purchase a bottle of wine.
Well, you want the cheap stuff or the good stuff?
Oh, I want the good stuff. Good sir.
That'll run you 5 gold.
Tell you what.
Uh-huh.
If I can make you laugh, you give us 2 for the price of 1.
Well, you can go ahead and try.
He doesn't look like a laugher.
Sir, how do you feel about nobles?
Can't say I have an opinion one way or the other.
What is the difference between a zombie and a noble?
I don't know what.
One is a brainless, useless waste of space, and the other is a zombie.
He chuckles and then starts to laugh heartily and reaches under the bar and grabs 2 big bottles of wine, and sets them down hard on the bar for you guys.
Put down 5 gold for him.
And he takes it and nods at you and says, "Thank you for your patronage."
You're most welcome, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
He gives you a little salute and goes back to serving drinks to everyone.
Who takes the wine?
I look at Delmere and say, "See, Delmere, I just have the gift of a silver tongue." And I lick my lips at it.
He smiles and he says, "I can see that." And he says, "Do you mind taking the wine?"
Absolutely not. Give me it.
He just kind of gestures for it. Or he just kind of like pushes it toward him. The 2 bottles. And he's feeling a little actually, He taps Yip's shoulder and he
Yes.
says, Yip, I believe the amount you gave was a bit too much, so here you are. And he hands him 19 gold.
I take the 19 gold. You certain you've got good price or good wine?
So,
It
less
is
than,
not.
well, how is it, Zervin?
Well, it's fairly good for, this establishment. There's nothing on the wine we get back home. We make it ourselves.
Oh,
We will acquire this wine after our quest to the tower. I take the 19 gold and put it right back in my pocket.
And if you're wondering, Don, if we got a good deal, we got 2 for the price of 1.
Did you threaten the man?
No, I made him laugh.
And this makes them give you more.
Well, sometimes it'll give you a discount or a date.
A date? Like,
Yeah, like your wonderful
Dulcelata.
Dusalata, your magnificent woman that you
Yes, she's
wish
a
to
beauty.
coddle and lay the eggs with.
Well, I would never say. I begin to very angrily look at all of them. Do not speak of her in this manner. I may, because I am her true love. But yes, I will, in one day, take Dulcelerta on a date of some sort.
But Don, if I am to compose your song, I have to speak those words.
you must know all of the details.
I kind of narrow my eyes.
You must.
This is fair point. I will have to consider it. Give me time.
Well, if it's all the same to you, I am going to rest up for our early excursion tomorrow. And he starts to mosey through the bar.
Will he still need protection, or should we head back to the ship?
I'm not heading for
Dear-
the ship, but I'll be there.
Dear Don Yip, I need your protection. Let's go.
Very well. I begin trotting behind her.
I prance behind the both of them.
I leave, so I leave the tavern.
Okay. Where is everyone staying for the night?
Emil's
Over
headed
ship.
towards the boat.
Yeah, I think me and Emil are on the ship.
I head for the docks, and I kind of check my belt, make sure I got what I need, and good enough. See if I can find somewhere comfortable. And he jumps in the water. He's going to
You
sleep.
get,
He's going to sleep in the water, because he is a Triton.
You get a couple of glances from people still on the dock.
He swan dives into the water. Sploosh. And he goes.
Not even a sploosh.
And he goes. And
Just perfect. Perfect dive.
Just the most perfect entry. He's done it 1,000 times. He swims around and he hits the bottom of the haft of his glaive, and it lights up. And anyone watching the water can see a small point of light start to go a bit deeper and a little bit further out, and then it disappears. And he's just going to nap in a nice little nook, a little bit away from where all the boats are.
Alright. Awesome. So you guys wake up in the morning. Is Zavrin staying on the ship too?
Yes. Before I go to bed, I go to the front of the ship, and I stand there, and I extend my arms out, and I take a deep breath. Oh. And I think about Delmare coming up behind me and holding my coat.
Oh god.
Oh,
What? I'll do that. I'll do that later. It just made me think of like the badly played recorder song of "My Heart Will Go On."
Right.
Cool.
I feel like Emma would play her pan flute behind them if they did that.
Oh my gosh.
I will sing Celine Dion. Don't tempt me.
In that voice, this can be good.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys wanted to do overnight?
I believe I'm set.
All right. So you wake up in the morning those on the ship. You wake up to a lot of activity. People hoisting the sails, getting ready, the oars descending into the water so that you can back out of the port. Does Delmar wake up in time?
Yeah, he does.
Alright.
I'm gonna retcon a little bit. He didn't go that far away. He kind of like feels like the little bit of vibrations in the water when the oars sploosh into the water. He kind of rouses from his slumber. He looks up and he says, and he swims up and he uses his grappling hook to get back onto the pier, so he doesn't have to go all the way to where the shore actually, or where like there's only shore and not like pier. Climbs up, stows it. He's soaking wet, and he goes to the ship.
Right. The sailors that are on the ship kind of give you a little bit of a weird look because you're dripping wet. You just came out of the ocean, but they go back to their duties relatively quickly and make their way around you while they're messing with ropes and doing what sailors do. And is there anything you guys want to do before we set sail?
Think of anything.
Emma just finds a corner and she is meditating.
Okay. Alright. So, you can hear Frances shouting out orders, telling people what to do, and you can tell why she's a captain. She speaks with authority and is a very powerful, strong, independent woman.
Don't need no man.
Don't need no man.
Oh, hold on just a second. Let's take 5 real quick. I need to
Alright.
help my Nana real quick.
Another game I'm a player.
Oh.
Are
Oh.
you ready to continue?
I'm ready when you guys are.
That was a question for Justin.
Oh.
I think that's the affirmative in his character. I think it's a Zevran yes.
Okay. So we are officially at sea. So the first mile or so outside of a room is calm, relatively easy sailing.
During that
but
time,
after...
Oh, sorry.
What?
I was gonna do something.
Okay, go for it.
So during the calm first mile, he says, "Companions, gather around me for a moment. I have how would I put it? I have a connection to the sea, and I wish to extend it to you." He says, "Come, gather."
I approach him kind of like woozy from already moving on the sea and ocean and not being used to it.
I saunter over.
He out of a pouch, out of like this pouch that looks like he opens it and there's like all of these buttons that are kind of sealing it. he opens it up and he reaches inside, and you find that there's a little bit of water in there, and there's something sloshing around. He pulls out a purple sea anemone, and he puts it on the back of his hand, and it kind of just takes to his skin, and he starts to you see him sort of say a few words in Primordial, and he sort of makes some hand gestures, and he says, give me about 20 minutes. And
what does he say in Primordial?
He says,
because you have a party member that understands it.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
In Primordial, he is just petitioning the sea, like referring to it as its own entity, to grant buoyancy to the party, and to grant the ability to breathe its life-giving waters. So he's doing a ritual cast of water breathing and water walk.
Well, that is wonderful.
So he says, I probably need you to return to me every hour or so to refresh one of the gifts, but the other one should last you the whole day.
What exactly are the gifts? I'm not understanding.
Well, my fearless leader, friend, if you were to fall off the side into the drink, you wouldn't fall into the drink. You would be able to walk on the water as if it is a solid surface.
Well, if this is the case, I should probably bring up Tater-Trot. He will be ridden into combat, and if he can also run across the sea, it would be very useful.
He
So
says,
I head downstairs and I bring up my horse for the next hour.
do they let you? Do they let him?
Oh, they will.
Okay.
Or there's gonna be some dead deckhands.
All right.
They don't seem to stop you.
He's going to he'll cast it. He'll do the ritual again for Tater Trot. And the other gift is if the walking one, if the buoyancy one wears off, and I don't have time to give it to you again, he says. The other gift I have given you is the ability to breathe under the water itself.
Focus on our friends. I have something that protects me already.
Well, you have given us something. I feel like we need to give you something in return.
He puts up his hand, he says, No.
How do you feel about limericks?
Oh, you're going to give us a bit of a show.
If you would like it, I could do it, yes.
He says, if you feel obligated to, I will not stop you.
There once was a red wizard of Thay who would polish his wand every day. He oiled up the shaft and worked his wizardly craft, and it produced the most magical spray.
Your euphemisms, he says. They're entertaining.
My father taught me that one as well. He was quite the man. I should say he is quite the man. I shouldn't speak of him as if he's dead.
Delmar is done doing whatever.
Okay. So, after the first mile or so, the sea gets a lot rougher, and a lot choppier, so it's, constant, like, those of you who are easily seasick are seasick now. Oh, I lost my place. Oh, there we are. So in the first 4 hours of the ride, it's relatively calm. You don't encounter anything hostile. but suddenly you hear up from the crow's nest a horn, and there's a bunch of movement on the ship as people are trying to like steer away, and you can see off in the distance just a bunch of killer whales that are coming towards you. They don't seem to be progressing towards you fast, and then whenever they get at the ship, they turn and then they swim with the ship for a little while.
I'm going to cast Speak with Animals as a ritual. And
Okay.
he takes out a from his various pouches on his belt. He produces 50 feet of rope, and he goes over to the edge. And there's like a spot that he can tie a knot on, right?
Oh yeah.
So he ties a knot, and he just grabs the rope and he kind of taunts it and makes sure it's tight. Looks down, makes sure it's kind of in the water, and he gets off the side and he starts lowering himself down. And he goes into the water and he swims. Actually, is the ship going faster than 30 feet per 6 seconds?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so he's going to hold on to the rope.
A galley can go 8 miles per hour, so.
Do I bother? No, I'm not going to bother doing that. He holds onto the rope, which dips into the water, and he is letting the ship kind of tow him, and he's kind of like steering himself to make sure that he doesn't like lose his place. And he looks at the. He tries to saddle up to one of the killer whales, and in their language, he says. He says, "Greetings."
I'm not doing a whale voice, but they greet you back and say, "Hello."
He says,
Come on, we want whale.
"What?" Oh,
Like Dory.
like yeah, but
Absolutely.
these are killer whales. What news, if any? Is there any danger around here?
They tell you that they haven't seen anything, but the big turtle is near here.
Big turtle. Does he know about what that refers to?
Has
Being
Delmar spent a lot of time in like this part of the sea
I mean,
of the Plyjaz Expanse?
he's been all over. So, I mean, he's been wandering for a decade. So,
Okay.
it's up to you. You can set a hard DC, DM to DM.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a nature check.
Nature check. Oh, well, that's not going to do very good.
Okay, you do know that there are dragon turtles, and there's also a couple of sea turtles that are bigger, about the size of a dragon turtle. And you have heard stories from your travels of a sea turtle that has a coven of sea hags on its back.
Okay.
But you don't know which turtle they're talking about.
Got it. Thank you, my friends. Enjoy your swim. And he is going to climb back up onto the ship.
As he's climbing back up, Yip is gonna like poke his head over and say, "Would you like me to kill those creatures? They look dangerous."
They are not dangerous. They are fine. They are.
How much is left of them? I can only see the tops. Are they big? Do they have jellyfish stingers? I kind of start aiming the lens down at them.
No, they are.
When you say that, the killer whales start to swim a little bit faster, and then one of them breaches, and you can see just how big they are.
It's a monster!
None. It is just a whale. Were it not fearless litter, they will not harm us. And he keeps climbing up to the top. He jumps over the side, lands,
I begin just staring at the water, just kind of looking at it, but you can tell that the sunlight's really messing with me, as I can only see black blobs from where I am.
He starts coiling the rope, and he says, well, we may have, there may be some danger on the horizon. Maybe not. They made mention of a giant turtle. There are many giant turtles in the Expanse. Then he coils his rope, puts it back.
If we must destroy these giant turtles, we will do so.
The killer whales swim with the boat for about another 20 minutes or so before they depart towards the south.
After hearing Delmar's news, Emma goes downstairs and pulls the cloak out of her bag and flips it on her shoulder. And comes back to the top.
I'm going to begin... Oh, go ahead.
What does the cloak look like?
It's really beautiful gray and it's trimmed with gold. It's shaped like a manta ray. It has a long tail.
I like it.
Based on what I saw, which was giant blobs in the water, I'm going to begin to try to turn my horse into a giant blob. So I'm going to cast a spell.
Okay.
Where are you? There you are. And we said that we're going to make this a manatee, so I'm going to turn Tater Trot into a manatee.
Okay.
Blob.
There's
I get it.
there's now a blob manatee on the ship.
The fierce creature you spoke with, I have made one for me to ride into combat.
You've broken your horse.
What are you talking about? Tater Trot is not changed, he is just new shape.
Oh, he's so thick.
Oh, jeez.
I'm only doing what I saw the creature in the water look like. I feel like this is good representation.
I think your sight was distorted.
You're right on the money. And he winks to Emil.
You see, this one
Emma just
understands.
trembles. You're a fine wizard.
I am no wizard. And I begin walking over and I mount my creature and I begin slurping away like a snail to the other side of the boat.
The manatee looks very sad that it's not in water.
After a little bit of time, I hear its sadness telepathically and I say, well, I will help you up. And I begin trying to lift my manatee to the side of the ship. I'm moving like you know how you have to lift the masters and it falls and flops onto you because of its height. It's just like covered in blubber and begins rolling it like a camp bag over it. Eventually, there's just a loud, solid splash as it hits the ground and begins swimming and following us.
Hey, can you shoot me the stat block that you found?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
I'll just put it in Discord if you want.
Cool.
Okay. So, alright, so you guys travel a little bit longer. And it seems pretty quiet. The sea is still pretty rough. But there's lots of people looking out. You don't see anything particularly exciting. Some dolphins come up to you guys, and as it starts to get darker, you guys are about halfway between. Actually, let's go to the map here. You guys are about halfway to the tower. We're about there. And Francis tells you guys that we'll be going for another hour or two before we lay anchor.
right.
Emma leans into Delmar and she says, I hate it. It's quiet. Quiet is usually bad.
Is it quiet or the sea still choppy?
Well, the sea is still choppy, but it's it's a cloudy day. There's not really any seabirds flying around.
Okay.
Quiet as in, it seems like you guys are the only ones here in this part of the sea.
Did we lay anchor yet?
You're about to.
Okay. I'm gonna do something when we lay anchor. Actually,
Okay.
as like we coach, he's gonna cast those rituals on his, or at least the water walk ritual, not on Emil, but the other two. And when they lay anchor, if nothing else happens, he's gonna dive into the water.
Okay. As you guys get to about here, you go ahead and everyone make me perception checks.
I have a passive of 21.
Holy shit!
Oh, you have a passive of 21? Holy
You're
shit.
a
Okay.
fancy dude.
Mine's 17.
Ha!
I'm not paying attention.
Is it
So my
dark now, or
passive
is
is
it-
higher.
My passive's 18.
Is this sundown or is it still up?
It is about sunset.
Alright, you decide. If it's too bright for me, it's the 7. If it's normal for like a kobold and dark vision and all that sun sensitivity, it's 22.
Okay, I gotta roll some stuff real quick. Okay, so Yip and Zavrin, somehow Yip notices there are some dark shapes in the water that are following your guys' boat.
I point my lance and aggressively yell to my teammates, "Dark shapes in the water! Are these more of your whale friends?"
I don't know. Let me go check. And he walks over and he's gonna dive in. Completely. Actually, he's. How close are they? Are they close, or?
They are very close, like right up against the hull of the ship.
Okay. Then he's going to say to one of the deckhands, "Just tie a rope for me to climb up in a second," and he just dives right in.
All right, one of the deckhands starts to scramble to find a coil of rope and starts tying it off for you. And
Spoosh, and I activate the light on my glaive.
okay, you see. We're gonna move back to this map here. As you like light up your glaive, you see there are which side of the ship are you on?
The side we saw the shapes on.
Okay, so you are here, and just move you guys where. Oh God,
I'm so little.
you're so small.
No, that's accurate. I'm actually small.
Oh.
I'm a small creature. So
Wow. Okay, so you guys see, well, Delmar sees 2 sirens up towards that look like they're about to pounce onto the ship. And whenever they see you jump into the water, they turn to each other, and then with their little tail fin, they leap into the air and start flapping their little their wings.
I breach the surface and I call out, all hands, we have, do I know what sirens are?
Yes, you would know what sirens are. They are the sirens in this world are like mutated merfolk that have, instead of having the feathers of like a regular siren, they're dressed in like seaweed and stuff like that, and they've got like leathery type wings. And they still look pretty beautiful for a siren that is aquatic based. So everybody go ahead and roll me initiative. But how do I get the turn order up?
The clock.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, my whole name shows up in the thing. Oh.
Oh, your name isn't right.
That's weird.
You can change. Huh.
And where is Hugh?
Who?
Humanity?
He needs a token for his steed.
Humanity.
All right. Oh, hold on. Let me find a token.
I don't know if there's gonna be a manatee token.
No, there's
I
not.
will
I
make
looked.
one.
You can just do large, like a war horse or anything else, and it'll stay around once I change it back anyway.
Oh,
We'll
it'll
just
take
use our
it'll take me like 5 seconds. Hold on.
Alright.
They're flying right now.
Yes, they are in the air.
Okay.
Oh, we'll give him a blue border.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I think you have control of him now.
I got him. We just need him to be large, so he's gonna fill 4 spaces.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, he's a thick boy. There we go.
You big boy. Okay, so...
I love it.
Okay, so this siren is gonna get her turn first.
Boy.
And she will... She, like, clasps her hands. Oh. Actually, Mike, we need
Murder music.
track number 4.
Murder music. I'm gonna.
Sweet. Okay, so she clasps her hands in front of her and she lets out this it's a beautiful song. And I need everyone in the vicinity to make wisdom saving throws.
Is Delmar within 10 feet of me?
No, I'm at the bottom.
No,
No,
he's in the
that's
water.
just me then. So I get wisdom and I get +4. So I got it out of 11.
Is this a charm effect?
No.
I think we all failed. Good start.
You guys are all stunned.
Nice.
So, let's see here.
What about the steed?
Oh, I have to roll for the steed. Let's see.
Is Hugh
Is
stunned?
he underwater?
He's technically underwater right now, yeah.
Then he's fine. Though I don't know if... Let me see here. Would they be able to hear it underwater?
That's your call.
Yeah, you get the DM powers. You're a god.
Nah, I'm not saying it's fine.
Alright.
Okay, so I'm gonna look up the stunned.
And take actions. Can speak only falteringly.
Okay. So that was her action. So Zavrin, it's your turn. You can
I'm
make
done.
another wisdom saving throw. Oh, you are still stunned. Okay. Yep.
Alright, I'm rolling it again. That's a 16.
That saves. You are no longer stunned.
Alright. Spend my turn just...
Right, Delmar. You save as well.
Damn.
And Immel?
I am still stunned.
Yep, you sure are. Alright, so this one, seeing you guys are stunned, is going to fly over to Yip and try and rake you with her claws.
She will try.
16?
That will miss.
Alright, she just misses you with her claws. And it's this one's turn again. She's gonna fly over to you, Immel here, and make an attack on her.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
That hits.
That actually
so
would crit
it-
either way. Because she's stunned. Oh, no, that's paralyzed. Never mind.
Yeah.
So let's see, 2. And that is 13 damage. And that is her turn. Zavrin. That saves.
Oh,
Alright, Yip.
I will move away and take an opportunity attack.
Okay.
That'll miss.
Yep.
And with my lance in hand and on the staircase, I will turn toward it and say, "By the point of Kurthamac's spear and the tip of his poisonous tail, I will see you run through!" And I will stab my lance into it as much as I can. So I will make an attack roll.
That hits.
1 to hit, yeah. Let's roll damage. That's 9 damage.
Okay.
And then I will just poke her again.
Okay.
Hey.
Ooh.
I think I'm gonna have to use one of the smites on that because it gets doubled.
Okay.
So we're gonna use this first,
Woo!
and I'm gonna use level 1 smite.
That's
So,
pretty.
Oh my god, okay. Hold on, I gotta do math.
and actually, I do get to add
Another
how many more
2d8.
d8? Another 2d8. So
That 6 doesn't count, though, because it's against... Boom.
yeah, that's with the other thing. That's for the undead and the fiend bit.
Okay, so
So that's 24, 36, 46, 49 altogether.
she looks awful. Like you tore out a chunk of her midsection and she's bleeding profusely down her mermaid tail.
And as my telepathic connection is still secure, I call to my faithful steed to breach the water, and I will jump onto him.
Okay, he does
That'll be my
that.
turn. So I'll just be right here with my buddy. So that's it.
I'm gonna start climbing up the rope. Is there a rope there that the deckhand got for me?
Yes.
Okay, so he's going to start climbing up the rope. He doesn't have a climb speed, so it's probably going to be halved. So he'll make 15 feet up, and then can I see this one here?
You sure can.
All right, I'm going to, because I'm assuming I can't see the other one because it's not over the deck. So I'm going to point my finger in her. Actually, he sticks out his hand with one hand holding the rope, and he says in primordial, "Brine of the sea, slow her." And it's casting frostbite. She needs to make a con save.
Okay. She does not make it.
So she takes 6 cold damage, and her next attack roll has disadvantage.
Okay. And that was on this one?
Yep. And that is my turn. Yeah, it's my turn.
Okay.
So I'm still trying to get unstunned, correct?
Yes. You save.
Aha!
Alright, so this one, she's not very happy. She's bleeding profusely, and you can see that her, like, once pretty face has, like, turned monstrous. And she flies over to Zavrin over here and tries to, like, swoop in with her claws. $16.
Alright, that would hit, but I'm gonna use my reaction to use cutting words, and I'm gonna scream, "Not the face!"
Okay, what does that do?
Alright, that misses.
Reduces the attack roll by
Okay.
that much.
Alright. This one, seeing Imel is still stunned, is gonna try and...
Oh, I thought I'm unstunned.
Oh, you're unstunned. Never mind.
She has disadvantage.
Yes, she's still gonna try and attack you, though. So... 19.
It's
With disadvantage?
Yep. She rolled a 20 on her first one and a 13 on the other.
Thanks, son.
Let's see. Nine damage. And that is her turn.
Alright, so she looks real messed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am going to... let me just double check this. I am going to whisper to her. Actually, do I know what this creature is?
Have you spent much time on the sea? I imagine you have, since you got to Shanghai. You have heard of sirens before, yes.
Do I know, like, what kind of creature they are? I'm a bard of law.
Oh, yeah. You would. You know that they're, these particular sirens are considered fae.
Alright, well, I'm going to whisper to this fine young lady in Sylvan, and I'm going to say, I'd insult your mother, but you were insult enough. And I'm going to do that by casting this spell.
Okay. She does not save.
Flee, run away, and or die. Whichever.
She has like blood coming out of her ears. Is she supposed to flee? From
You
dissonant
take the
whispers?
reaction to move half their speed away from the caster.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
And that shall be it from me.
Alright, yep.
All right. So how high is this one from the water?
She is probably about 8 feet because she's at the. She's like hovering over the deck of the ship.
So I got 30 feet with my manatee. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it can roll right here with me on its back. And then I'm going to kind of like synchronized swim do this, where the manatee kind of like starts breaching its face, and I'm standing on its face with my lance, and I stab upwards. I have
Okay.
a reach of 10 feet, so I think I can get her from here.
You sure can.
All right, let's go for it. And because she is smaller than my mount, I have advantage, and I also have advantage because I'm a kobold, and that's pack tactics. So I should press the toggle button to do it. I'm a silly person. But anyway, 16 to hit.
That does hit.
All right, 18 damage.
Whew.
It's a big weapon. And then I will do it once more. And actually toggle advantage this time. 20 to hit.
Yep.
So then another 16 damage.
Alright. She is
okay.
bloodied.
Ooh. And then I will take my mount about 10 feet this way and start staring at him. That's my turn.
Alright. Delmar.
Delmar makes his way. How much more of the ship? He's about 15 feet off of the sea line. How much more does he have to go to get on top of the ship again?
You are at the tippy top.
Oh, okay, so he just huffs over the edge, sees, he assesses the situation, sees the very bloodied one, decides that he's going to attempt to take that out first, and, he draws his glaive from his back and he winds up
Yep, that hits.
for 11 plus 3 damage.
Describe killing her.
He just gets up and he sees her all bloodied and he just twirls the glaive around and just slices it through her neck, and then he's going to start up these stairs to the next one.
Wonderful.
And from 10 feet away, he is going to attempt to attack her because glaive.
Okay. Yep, that hits.
With that much damage. Taking a slice out of, I don't know, her shoulder probably. Just a big overhand swing.
And that's lightning damage.
Yes.
Alright, and so she takes an extra 2 damage.
Nice.
You can tell that the lightning damage from your glaive like really hurt her. It's still kind of like crackling over her shoulder.
Not so beautiful now, huh? Turn over.
She glares at you and kind of growls. Alright, Immel.
Emil's gonna step forward and take a swing at him.
Alright. That hits.
And then she's gonna use her flurry of blows and hit her twice over.
Okay.
Don't forget about your extra attack, so you get 3 more.
That misses. That hits.
And one more time.
Yep.
That hit.
She just beats down a
666.
bitch.
Yeah, she is on death's door.
Do you push her or prone her or anything? Because you're open hand.
I didn't actually use open hand technique.
It keys off every time you
Oh,
do
actually,
Fury
it
Blows.
comes on. Yeah, I used flurry of blows. Yeah, so I tried to knock her prone. She needs to make a strength saving throw.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and say she failed that.
So she is prone.
She sure is. What's the, Oh no. There we go. Okay. That one is dead. This one, she's going to kind of sit up on the deck and try and get up, but you've damaged her wing pretty badly, and she can't quite get up. But she's gonna try and rake at your shins. $24.
Is that a reaction? She can't make any reactions until the end
her
of
turn.
my next turn. Oh, is it her turn? Yeah, that hits.
Ah ha ha! You're ugly! You're ugly.
She starts crying.
So, take 9 off of that. Does it still hit?
Does 15 hit?
Kitty?
No, it doesn't.
Man. There you go.
Right, she misses. Zavrin.
Alright, I take my staff off my back and spin it around, and I just tap, how do you say your name, kitties? Emil?
Emil.
Emil? I tap Emil on the shoulder.
Thank you, sir.
And then I run away. And I hide behind Captain Francis.
Alright. Kip, yep.
All right. I'd like to ask, can my manatee reach and kind of like fling me upward so I can downward thrust into this thing? Do I need to make a check or something? I'm gonna like launch off of its nose, like get rid of my mount essentially, not be mounted, and just kind of fly down and just plummet into it.
Make an athletics check
For the manatee or me?
for you, because I'm gonna say the manatee is quite capable of like pushing you out of the water, but
19?
oh yeah, that's more than enough.
Alright, so it flies up. You see just this splooshing, majestic, thick, graceful, giant gray creature fling a tiny little armored ball of anger upwards into the air, and an aggressive I come down with the lance on top of it.
All right, perfect.
It's like a reverse.
And it does have advantage because she's still prone.
Oh, alright. So then that again.
Pierce through the ship.
I might.
Yep, that hits. She is just barely hanging on.
Well, she would be, but we're gonna bust out one of these.
Whoa.
Oh my god. She
I want
is.
this to end.
She is like your lance spears right clean through her and
Oh, man.
pins her to the ship, and she dies.
Does the light energy like do that thing where it comes out of her eyes and mouth?
Yep, sure does.
Yes.
You guys did it.
Believe in the kobold that believes in himself. Alright, no.
Damn,
That's
man,
a powerful little kobold you have there.
He's gonna start schloughing the creatures off of the ship.
Yep, and then it's easy enough. You push them over to the side, and they like, as Francis catches the wind again,
Is everyone all right?
they bob off in the distance.
They bob off in the distance.
Before he pushes them off, I take some of the feathers.
They don't have feathers.
Oh, I thought you said they had wings.
Yeah, they have like leathery, like bat.
Wow. Ugh, never mind.
You want some of the sinew? You can take some of the sinew.
Emil turns to Taverns. She says, "Thank you, sir."
Are any of you injured?
Well, thank you for standing in front of them. In front of me, and blocking them.
That's what I do best.
My career would be ruined if anything happened to this beautiful face.
Well, you can always stand behind my
I have no issue standing behind you.
Some of the deckhands chuckle when Severin says that. And they're like mopping up the blood from the sirens, which is a weird black color. And you guys go for about another hour or so before the sun finally sets behind the horizon, and Francis tells the deckhands to lay the anchor. You guys are anchored for the night.
Well, that was a riveting experience.
Hopefully it gets more exciting. Well,
I love a good battle.
Attacked by a pair of harlots on the ocean. Imagine.
he asks us genuinely. He asks, "Are you going to write about it?"
Of course. I'll chronicle it in our tales. A journey for adventure and Don's wife. To be.
It's good. This will make fine tale. Though those creatures were too weak to be truly worth the honor I seek.
Well, I'm going to have to practice my drawing so I could draw that epic final blow you dealt that one.
It was quite a sight.
It was impressive.
I only try to be the best leader I can.
You're definitely good at stirring things. And
You all did very well. I see true potential in all of you.
You honor us all.
You see Yip's tail just kind of...
Alright. Is there anything you guys want to do before you guys go to bed? Or set up a watch or anything?
Yeah, I guess we should talk to Captain Francis.
She turns to you and says, "Yes."
You have a regular watch. You have a regular watch on the nights, yes?
We do. We make sure that there's always someone up in the crow's nest.
He nods.
I'd like to offer my services.
I do as well. I think it might be useful to have eyes under the boat as well as above it.
Good idea. I begin yelling off to the side. Hugh! Watch the boat!
I place my hands under my chin and I say, "Rest assured, Captain Francis, I am always watching."
She grins at you and like claps you on the back a little harder than you were expecting and says, "Well, your help is very much appreciated." And then she goes back to... She's helping the deckhands clean. And
Emil
some of
joins in.
the deckhands from below bring you guys some dinner. It's salted fish and hard bread. And some hard cheese.
Oh, cheese from my wine.
Perfect. Delmar will, he's going to spend a couple of hours in the night watching the bottom of the boat. Do you need us to be specific with our watch?
No, not really.
Okay.
Emil puts up her hood and joins in the water.
Let me do something real quick.
And Zavarin looks out on the water, seeing them swimming like Squidward in that one meme. Looking out the window.
Alright, so the night is pretty uneventful. You do see some, like, floating casks. Just gently bob on by.
I investigate the casks.
As does him.
Okay. They don't really have anything in them except for seawater. You suspect that at one point it may have held wine or ale, but the cork has long since gone into the nether realm.
What a waste.
And is probably dropped by a merchant ship that had been boarded by pirates. You also see a couple of dolphins. Just a little pod of dolphins swimming by. The night is relatively quiet and uneventful.
Safe journey, my Popa's friends.
They click and do their echolocation at you.
Sweet.
Alright. So, in the morning, is there anything else you guys wanted to do?
Nope, I'm good.
Emil just curls up on a part of the deck and sleeps up there.
You know we have our own rooms.
Guarding the boat is easier.
Fair enough. Asks
Plus,
his
it's
wife.
a really clear night, and it's great for stargazing.
If you want, you can use my manatee as a bed.
Hugh has joined us back on the boat.
No, I thought you were staying down the water. Never mind. You're good. He was staying in the water. He is staying in manatee for now. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We lost him. We lost one. There he is.
There he is.
Welcome back.
Oh.
Zavarin, is there anything you wanted to do during the night?
I just sit out on the deck and walk around and look at all the strong men walking away, and eventually I climb up to the crow's nest and sit down and look at the stars.
And it is a beautiful night for that. And you look up in the sky, you see all these distant, like, galaxies and just a whole star field. And 2 moons.
There it is, as I remembered. 2 beautiful moons.
One of them is noticeably smaller than the other.
1 infant and 1 father or mother, whichever you prefer in your mind.
Alright, well, after your uneventful night, you guys wake up in the morning. People are already starting to pull the anchor up. It's not as windy today as it was yesterday, so it's going to take you a little bit longer to get to the tower. Let's move you guys over here. But it takes a good amount of the day, and you guys don't. There's no. You don't have any more trouble getting over to the tower. And as you guys pull up, you see this tower. Did it work?
Yeah, it did.
Does everyone see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So the tower is built from marble and granite. It has no visible shoreline, and it just descends into the depths of the sea. Around the tower, you can see that there's pretty distinct tiers, and each large band of tier has carved merfolk and sea creatures, but they don't have any details. Like, there's no faces on the merfolks. You can tell that the details have probably been worn away with the sea and time. You do have to wait a couple of hours whenever you guys get to the tower. And Francis tells you that, well, we've scouted this location before, and the only time that the tower is accessible is during low tide. And low tide isn't for another couple of hours in the evening.
Is there? Well, I can swim. I can swim under the water, and make my way in that way. Have you had anyone able to swim in the depths?
No, we sure haven't.
He looks to his.
I can also swim in the depths.
He looks to.
You can swim me.
We can.
She turns to Zavrin.
And make sure that you will not suffocate on the way with the gift. Ocean breathing gift.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna show Emil my journal as I've drawn myself stabbing through one of the harpies, kind of coming down, and all my friends with little pink hearts and everything.
God.
And I say, "How exactly do I spell your name? I never heard Emil before."
IMMEL.
IMMEL. All right. And this is good. As you can see, there's a very tall stick figure with no nose.
It's beautiful, my friend.
I'm trying to save up the stories for Xaverin when he makes the song.
And it will be one of the most glorious songs ever, as it includes your battle prowess.
He smiles and tail starts wagging and he throws the book back into his thing. Make sure he gets the name in first.
Francis, she turns to you guys and says, well, you guys are more than welcome to try.
Severin, do you mind getting wet?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask.
So he finishes the ritual, and we all have water breathing. He didn't cast water walking, because if he did, then we wouldn't be able to get in. Alright. Do we need to prepare anymore, or are we ready?
I don't
I'm
answer
ready.
him. I just walk off the ship and land on a manatee.
Good
Emil
attitude.
takes a graceful dive into the water
As does
after
Delmar.
pulling up her
After
Right.
pulling up what? I didn't catch you.
hood.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so you guys swim. As you get closer to the tower in the water, you can see that there's this little underwater alcove. It's like an archway, and you swim through it. And when you surface on the other side of the wall, you can see this. You're in a large room with a square little area where the sea meets the tower. And this room has a domed ceiling and some pillars in four corners with carved merfolk and a spiral staircase leading up.
I get onto the floor,
Yeah, there's a floor.
and I look to my companions and I say, "Shall we shall we ascend?"
I carefully dismount my manatee and I say, Hugh, you'll guard the entrance.
After you are fearless leader.
I kind of puff of my chest and begin walking up the staircase. depending on how tall the stairs are, I have to practically like vault each one.
Oh, they're pretty tall.
So yeah, I just kind of like scramble up each one. Just
I keep thinking of what was his name from the labyrinth? The little dog that rode the dog.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know his name.
In Labyrinth? David Bowie Labyrinth? Or
Yes.
no, I don't remember.
Yes, Mike, number 3.
Didymus.
Sir Didymus.
Oh yeah.
That's who I'm thinking of right now.
Maybe I'll get a cool eye patch and we'll say that works.
All right, so you guys ascend the stairs, and it's quite a bit of a hike to reach the first doorway, and you can tell that the stairs don't have like a landing or anything. It's just doorways on the stairs going all the way up, and the doorways don't have any doors. The doors have been shattered and like busted in.
Someone may have already been here, no?
It looks like it.
It's a shame. It looked like it was very beautiful in its day.
Do you guys go in the rooms?
Yeah. The first one I guess the first one we see.
Okay. The first room that you come across looks like it used to be a storage area. There's broken barrels, broken like wooden chests, some ripped and torn sacks laying around. They look like they've been here a very long time. And if you tried to pick them up, it would probably turn to dust. There are also what look like humanoid skeletons littering the floor that have also been there a long time. Like, they are fully skeletalized.
It looks like there was a great battle.
Someone fought, that's for sure. And there's nothing of note in here?
Doesn't look like it, no.
Delmar is satisfied. He leaves and he starts to go to the next room.
Emma follows.
They're not too far apart, are they?
No, not really. You can tell that the doors like coincide with the ceiling height, so you're like going up each tier.
Okay.
And there's about 6 tiers.
Gotcha.
As the brave Don Yip entered the already ruined tower,
I begin following my subordinates.
it would seem on this day that his adventure would not be fun.
Why do you say so?
Everything is already dead here. Everything is destroyed. What are you conquering here, sir?
We seek honor, we seek glory. This is merely a task to find chances to seek other missions for glory.
This tower is like a phallic symbol of potent fertility standing in the middle of the ocean.
Is this one of your poems?
Yes.
It is good. And I walk past him.
Delmar explores the next nearest room.
Okay, when you keep going up, there are more rooms with busted in doors. There are some that look to be like old bedrooms. There's like stone marble beds that have, threadbare blankets that look ancient, and there are ripped and torn tapestries that are faded. They look to have once been portraits of someone, but time has faded them. And in each of the rooms, there are like arrow slits that look out over the sea, and in one of them you can see the ship outside. And you can the common theme through all these tiers as you keep going up is that there are just skeletons everywhere.
Is there any progression or of decay, or is it all kind of the same?
It's all the same.
Okay.
Whatever, you can tell that whatever happened here probably happened at the same time.
Got it.
And as you get higher, you do see that in some of the rooms and in like the living areas and the dining areas, there is just a glint of gold on some of the tables.
I don't swipe it.
Oh, just like gold pieces?
You can tell that there are some like golden bowls and chalices. There are some gold coins. There's also silver tableware that is long since turned green and tarnished.
I take anything that seems valuable and start packing it away.
Okay.
What were we supposed to find here?
The gold one mentioned treasure.
Treasure? There's not much treasure except for those trinkets you've been stowing away.
I kind of like pull out some of the stuff. I was like, is this not valuable?
No, it is. It just, I was expecting a bit more.
Perhaps our information was wrong.
Gonna keep going up.
Alright.
The view from the top... Oh, sorry.
Fine. So you guys get to the top. Can you guys see that all right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see lots of beans. Blue beans.
Alright. So at the top of the tower, there seems to be what looks like an atrium. It has a domed glass roof over the top of it. There are pillars around the outer edge. And the glass that's in the domed roof looks like sea glass. So it's that blue color. Some of the panels have been shattered, and glass litters the marble floor. In the center of the floor is a large pedestal with a bowl in the center filled with crystal clear liquid. Surrounding the pedestal are ancient glyphs carved into the floor, and these glyphs look like they are either untouched or relatively recent. Let's see. Around the top are some old rusted away what looks like it used to be weapons. There's debris everywhere. There are some tables around made of the marble. And on the direct northern point of the top of the shrine, there is an archway that's made out of, you know how river rocks are like really smooth and oval?
Yeah.
It looks like the archway is made of that. There's nothing in the archway. It's just direct. If you go over to the archway and look down, it's just a direct drop into the sea. And scattered on the floor, the little beans, are chunks of sea glass that are softly glowing. And they don't look like they have come from the roof.
You're spectacular. He looks to
I still see enough treasure.
Well, what do we make of this? He gestures at all of the arcane ruins in the bowl.
Mike, go ahead and make me an investigation check.
I've got a -1, but I'll do my best. He thinks really hard. Not hard enough.
Something about the bowl looks off to you, but you don't know what.
He stares at the bowl. He says, I'm already kind of put off about the symbols on the floor, but the bowl in particular is very unnatural.
Is it worth
Emma.
more than the ones I have?
Emil
know.
takes her quarterstaff out and kind of pokes at the bowl.
It does not move.
I cast Gust, and I, just blow the water.
There are soft ripples in the water, but nothing happens. It doesn't spill out. It looks like it's being held inside of the bowl.
I approach within 30 feet of the bowl, and I cast Shape Water. And I'm just going to try to manipulate it a little bit. He's going to attempt to, pull a droplet out.
Nothing happens.
Okay. Whatever is
And
in
now
there.
that you're closer, you can see that there is what looks to be writing around the rim of the bowl.
Do we recognize the writing?
He approaches and looks at the writing.
You guys do. You and Emil recognize the writing. It is in Primordial. And it says, should the waves wash out my power, bring the boon of the Titan Onatrix.
He repeats this aloud.
Does this mean something to you?
Does the Titan... what was the Titan?
Onatrix.
Does that ring a bell?
You have not heard that name before.
Okay.
You have heard stories and folklore about a great titan that was once in this area, but you don't know for sure if that's the titan that the bowl is talking about.
There are legends that refer to titans, but I have not heard this name before.
Titan or Triton?
Titan, like the large, the large creature, or
A creature, if we defeat it, would honor much glory to us.
this is true, yes, but he says it says to bring the power of the Titan. Frankly, I don't know anything about what this is saying.
Are you guys right up against the bowl?
We are now.
Right close to it?
Yeah.
All
to
right.
read the writing.
As you are that close, you see that the chunks of sea glass that are on the floor kind of flare and flicker brightly before going back to their dull glow.
What do you make of that sea glass, Zaverin?
I mean, it's beautiful. I bet it would look nice as like a window, like stained glass.
I know
Can
very
I pick up some of the sea glass?
You pick up the sea glass?
Yeah, I want to try to pick up the sea glass.
Okay. As you pick up the sea glass, you are just enveloped in this warm feeling. And you can feel the sea glass kind of urging you towards the bowl.
I begin walking towards the bowl.
The warm feeling that you're getting gets warmer the closer you get to the bowl.
The glass is telling me something. As I kind of bring it closer.
The glass is telling you something.
Glass can't speak. Fearless leader.
Well, generally glass doesn't make you feel warm either. But it is.
Well, if it's heated glass, it could potentially make you warm.
I would fight the feeling.
I would put it down.
I have an idea. Why don't you lay it down? We all step back a little bit, and I will use some magic to pick it up and drop it in.
If this is what you wish,
I
put it down the ground.
take a
What
few
a hit
steps,
for-
several steps back.
I stand courageously right outside of the green markers at the bowl. Unafraid.
And we're backs up.
Alright, I will stand behind him and use Mage Hand to lift a piece of the glass into the bowl.
Okay, the sea glass falls into the bowl and sits at the bottom, and nothing happens for a minute. But then the bowl flares up,
Oh dear.
and a wave of what feels like radiant energy washes over you guys, and you get visions of hold on, I gotta find the paragraph. You all get visions of panic, and you get that panicky feeling in your chest. You see lots of bloodshed, you hear screaming, you see a merfolk man who has legs and like fins down his arms and down his back, wearing a coral crown and holding a coral trident, and he's laughing. And you see a beautiful blue-skinned woman just covered in blood and wounds fleeing to a mine. And you see some dark dwarves, flashes of dark dwarves, and you feel an intense sorrow. And you see the Titan, an enormous, like, obsidian creature covered in gemstones. You see the opal eyes of the Titan start to glow, and a blue crystal in his chest flare to life. And the intense feeling of sorrow you feel intense dread and like sorrow in your stomach. And then the visions end.
Sacre mère.
I believe we just seen what happened to the people.
Do I recognize the trident wielder?
You do. He looks a lot similar to the depictions of Aquantus that your people worship.
I admire his shaft work.
He looks around. He says, "What do we do with this information? Is this what they wanted us to retrieve?"
I go and grab a bigger chunk of sea glass.
Mm-hmm.
The glass is magic. It has to be worth something.
The chunks of sea glass, after you receive the vision, slowly start to fade.
Like out of existence fade?
No, the glow that was in them fade. They're still beautiful chunks of sea glass.
It looks like they're losing their magic.
Should I throw another in the bowl?
No, I think we're done with that.
Alright, well, I pocket as much sea glass as I can fit into my pouch.
Just a lot of sea glass. It's not particularly heavy.
Well, I don't know what else we were supposed to retrieve here, so don't think there's anywhere else for us to go.
I begin looking at the patterns, like these things on the floor, and I try to make my own tribal dance to match them. Because this one kind of looks like, you're sticking the leg back like a pirouette pose. This one looks like a crouchy crab dance. I kind of just start doing them. Seeing if anything happens.
Roll a dexterity check.
Oh, okay. I'm not good at that, but we'll go for it. Type up. Wow.
It is a beautiful dance, but nothing else happens.
No. These are not a riddle.
I wonder where these mines are.
I have the same thought.
Well, perhaps the information would be worthwhile. Marianne might reward us for such.
Were there only steps up or were there steps down too?
I mean, you guys can came back the way you, or go back the way you came.
At the ground floor, were there steps down?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Nope, just up.
I'd like to just kind of inspect the lines, like they're visible, right?
Yes. They look like they were at one point. This is the only like rune stuff that was in Dungeon Painter. But they look like they are carved into the floor and were at one point painted, but they are no longer painted.
Do they appear to be what I would consider used in ritual magic? Is there any magic essence to them?
Roll a religion check. Yes, you would. You know that in some religions they do use arcane magic in their rituals, and this looks pretty similar to what those do.
Oh, this appears to be some sort of religious related ritual of sorts. Not exactly sure which. Probably has something to do with this Titan.
Well, do we make ripples in the water?
I believe we already did. As I kind of hold up a little bit of the glass.
I walk up to the water, and speaking in first person, Delmar dips a finger in it.
It feels warm.
I think we have gotten all that we can get from here.
I have to agree.
Alright.
I walk over to the stairs and start heading down with the intent to go back to the ship.
Alright. Do we want to stop here?
Probably a good place to.
Yep. I agree. We did it, guys.
We did it, guys. Good job, Senna.
It was
Well
wonderful,
done.
Senna.
That's a very good first time DMing.
Well, I watched of all of Matthew Colville's
Ah,
running the
no.
game series.
You did wonderfully, Senna.
Very good.
Nice
Thank you.
job.
Good night, Joy. I'm stopping the stream.
Good
now.
night, Joy.
Good night, Joy.
Good night, Joy.
Enjoy.